So we will resume our discussion on matrices from where we stopped in our previous class. The contents of this presentation are not very much different from our previous lecture. We are not going to now recap our things such as adjoint method, how to multiply, how to add. In our previous class, we saw what are the three elementary row transformations and what are the three elementary column transformations. We introduced ourselves to the elementary transformations by setting them up as ways to solve system of linear equations. If you remember, the operations which we performed in our previous class on that system of linear equations were: first we divided the second equation by 3, then we interchanged the first row and the second row, and at last I think we had performed this operation R2 minus 2R1. So we made sure that all the three important row transformations were used to solve the system of linear equations: scalar multiplication, interchanging one row with the other, and adding to a row scalar multiple of some other row. Okay, and we also saw that just like we have these three row transformations, on similar lines we do have column transformations. Multiplying the column Ci by a non-zero scalar k, interchanging two columns, and adding to the ith column scalar multiple of the jth column. In today's class, what we are going to do is we are going to develop an approach to find out the inverse of a given square matrix by using the elementary transformations. If you remember, when we discussed the methods, there were 5 of them. The first one was the adjoint method. The second one was finding the inverse by row transformations, and the third one was finding the inverse by column transformations. The last two methods, the Cayley-Hamilton theorem and diagonalization, are not part of your syllabus. So as far as the board pattern is concerned, I'm not going to tell you the methods. Okay? Okay. The other thing which I had told you was the elementary transformation methods are lengthy. They take more time than the adjoint method. And I want to cover both the methods in the same class, and that is the reason why I have extended today's class. Just a brief review. Definition of inverse of a square matrix A. It is another square matrix of the same order. If we call that matrix as B, then for B to be inverse of A, the product of A into B should be the identity matrix of the same order. Second thing, if at all a square matrix has an inverse, that inverse is always unique. In short, any matrix A, if it has inverse, it cannot have more than one inverse. असला तर एकच असतो. The third is, when the matrix A is invertible, म्हणजे त्याचा inverse कधी काढू शकतो किंवा कधी exist करतो. The theorem says matrix A is invertible if and only if it is non-singular. Now by non-singular we mean its determinant should be a non-zero number, or determinant should not be equal to 0. So keep these things in mind. We have also seen that only these three transformations are allowed or permissible. We will not be doing any of these 5 or any of the invalid transformations. Now, the thing which we had not discussed in our previous class was this: the important properties of elementary transformations. and we are going to start today's lecture by discussing those properties. Suppose we have two matrices A and B. Their orders are such that we can find the product A into B. Let the answer be C. Okay. Now, the first property is that if we wish to perform any row transformations on the product, म्हणजे सपोज हा जो मॅट्रिक्स सी आहे आपला, याच्यावर आपण कुठलं तरी ट्रान्सफॉर्मेशन केलं, त्याच्या दुसऱ्या रोला 3 ने मल्टिप्लाय केलं, त्याची पहिली आणि तिसरी रो इंटरचेंज केली, किंवा त्याच्या दुसऱ्या रो मधून 4 टाइम्स फर्स्ट रो सबट्रॅक्ट केली, तर ही जी ऑपरेशन्स आपण सी वर करू त्यांनी सी काय होईल, चेंज होईल. हे आपण काल जे एक्झाम्पल सोडवले त्याच्यात पाहिलेलं आहे. अशी ऑपरेशन्स केल्यानंतर तो मॅट्रिक्स काय होतो, चेंज होतो. सो नाउ द क्वेश्चन इज, सपोज वी वॉन्ट टू गेट द ट्रान्सफॉर्म्ड मॅट्रिक्स, त्याला आता आपण सी डबल डॅश म्हणूया. सपोज ही ट्रान्सफॉर्मेशन्स केलीत तुम्ही आणि तुम्हाला सी डबल डॅश हा मॅट्रिक्स मिळाला. ऑर्डर चेंज झाली का, नाही. सीची जी ऑर्डर होती तीच सी डबल डॅशची पण ऑर्डर असणार आहे. नाउ द क्वेश्चन इज, suppose I want to write C double dash as product of two matrices. Definitely they cannot be A and B, because when you multiplied B by A you got C, but now we expect the answer to be C double dash. Okay, so the first property gives us the answer. If we wish to perform any row transformation on the product, in our case the matrix C, then we must perform it on the prefactor. म्हणजेच काय, इथे आपल्याला मॅट्रिक्स बी तसाच ठेवायचा आहे आणि ही जी ऑपरेशन्स आपण सी वर करतोय, 3R2 R13 R2 - 4R1 किंवा कुठलीही रो ट्रान्सफॉर्मेशन्स, तर ती सेम ऑपरेशन्स आपल्याला कशावर करायची आहेत, ए वर करायची आहेत, म्हणजेच प्रीफॅक्टरवर. सो इफ ए इंटू बी इज सी, if we perform the operations 3R2 R13 R2 - 4R1, or in general any row transformation on C, if we expect the newly obtained matrix to be product of two matrices, then we should perform 3R2 R13 R2 - 4R1 in the same sequence on the prefactor. Okay, we are going to make use of the first property while finding the inverse by row transformations. Now let us go to the second property. If we wish to perform any column transformation on the product, in our case the matrix C, then we must perform that operation on the post factor. म्हणजेच काय, सपोज आपण मॅट्रिक्स सी वर ही ऑपरेशन्स केली, 2C2 interchanging the second and the fourth column, C1 plus 9C2. Suppose we get the matrix C triple dash. Okay, now our objective is to find out C triple dash as product of two matrices, just like A into B equal to C. So according to this rule, we should keep A unchanged, म्हणजे जो प्रीफॅक्टर आहे तो तसाच ठेवला पाहिजे, इंटू, आता काय चेंज करणार, पोस्ट फॅक्टर चेंज करणार. कसं चेंज करणार, जी ऑपरेशन्स आपण सी वर केलेली आहेत, 2C2 C24 C1 plus 9C2, or in general any column transformation, we should perform the same column transformation or same sequence of column transformations on the post factor, which will result into another matrix. Let us call it B triple dash, and that will now be equal to C triple dash. Okay, so let me summarize this. Consider two matrices 1 2 3 4 and 3 5 7 8 here. You can see that the RHS is the product. I have already computed the product, and we will get a 2 by 2 matrix 17 21 37 and 47. Now this is a homework. I'm going to give you one operation each, one row operation and one column operation, which you are required to perform on the matrix on the right hand side. Okay. First, you will perform R2 minus 2R1. Okay. Will it change the white matrix here? Yes, obviously it will change. According to the first property, if you are performing any row transformation on the product, you must perform the same operation on the prefactor. So, if we call the first matrix as D, the second matrix as E, and the third matrix as F, you will first do the operation R2 minus 2 R1 on F. You will get a new matrix, call it F1. Okay. Now, go to D. Perform the same operation, you will get the matrix D1, and then what you will do is you will pre-multiply or you will multiply E and D1. What is the expected result? You should get the matrix F1. Okay. Second. Now let us perform column transformation on F. Let it be C2 minus C1. Okay, so you should perform C2 minus C1 on F first. What will it result into? It will result into another square matrix of the same order. Let's call it F2. Okay, now as per the second property, the operation C2 minus C1 should be performed on the post factor of the product, म्हणजेच कुठल्या matrix वर? E वर. ठीक है? So C2 minus C1 should also be performed on E, which will give you E2. Okay. Now your job is to verify D into E2 equal to F2. म्हणजे जर D1 into E equal to F1 आलं आणि D into E2 equal to F2 आलं तर तुम्ही काय प्रूव्ह कराल किंवा काय अचीव्ह कराल? You would have verified these two properties of the elementary transformations.